Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here. Good Tuesday evening. Welcome to the franchise flat. I can't even talk straight. Welcome to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series. No way to start it off, but with some good old-fashioned humor and editable blurbs. My name is Todd Abraham. I am your host, and this is episode number 41, I think it is, that we've done. Our purpose with Franchise Flashlight, the podcast series, is to feature upcoming and emerging franchises. And I would just, before I introduce my guest, who is a fun guy, by the way, you're going to enjoy listening to this interview. I just have to say that when you're doing a podcast about a franchise opportunity that involves some delicious food, don't do it when you're hungry. So we are privileged to have with us tonight Mr. Thomas Uehara, and he is the founder of Nippon Curry Franchise Opportunity, and the website is real simple. It's nipponcurryfranchise.com, NIPPONCURRY franchise.com, and of course the primary website is nipponcurry.com. So without any further ado, Thomas, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Thank you very much. Glad to be
was,
here.
That was a longer intro than I normally do, but I don't normally screw up right off the get-go. So this is fun. So Thomas and I, we talked by phone about 2 weeks ago, and as soon as I discovered he had a great sense of humor, I thought, man, we're going to have a good time on this podcast. So Thomas, tell us a little bit about yourself. I think you have a brother or a business partner, right, who is like a brother to you and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Thomas, and I'm actually from San Francisco, California, beautiful city. But I've spent over 30 years of my life in Japan, and it's just by chance. It wasn't by design. I went on a 2-month vacation after graduating from college. And that 2 month ended up being 30 years. And it's just been a wild ride. But, I mean, the interesting part about this is I've come back full circle, because when I actually lived and worked in Japan, I never imagined that I would be able to come back, especially to the San Francisco Bay Area, being so expensive out here that, I was just thinking, I'm never going to be back home again. But thank you to this opportunity, I'm now back in San Francisco, and I'm trying to go nationwide with this Japanese curry brand that I brought from Japan. And it's just been a wild journey. I actually brought this brand called Nippon Curry. This brand is actually called Hinoya Curry in Japan, and we have about 90 locations currently, and it's growing. But I actually brought this award-winning recipe and branded Nippon Curry here in the U.S. I don't know if anyone knows about the translation of the word Nippon. It means Japan. So I wanted people to recognize this curry as a Japanese food and not Indian or Thai, as most people would naturally associate with. So.
And the great thing about that is what I love is I've done a lot of interviews with food brands in the franchise sector, and some of them are pretty proven. But I have to say, of all the interviews that I've done, which is probably the majority of the interviews we've done have been in the food sector, yours is the most proven because, as you said, there's 90 locations in Japan, and there, if you look at the website again, nipponcurryfranchise.com, you'll see they've won some pretty prestigious awards. I think it gives a leg up to somebody who is looking to invest in a franchise, and they're trying to decide between, okay, well, which brand in the food sector do I want to go with? So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Todd, you made a very interesting point because that was exactly what I was thinking when I was planning on bringing this curry brand over to the US. Um, Most people outside of Japan, they're not aware of this fantastic, delicious food. Most people are familiar with curry, but they think it's Indian or Thai. It's very spicy. But Japanese curry is completely a different animal. It doesn't look or taste anything like the Indian or Thai curry. It's hard to describe, but why I decided to bring curry to the US was actually when I discovered how the American people embraced the Japanese ramen, the noodle. When I was growing up in San Francisco many, many years ago, I'd say 99% of the people here in the US didn't know what ramen was. When they saw it, they usually in San Francisco we have a lot of Chinese people. So back in the days, they used to call it the Chinese noodles, and that was what people associated ramen with because ramen is a derivative of Chinese noodle, but it's Japanese version. It's like pizza, right? It's Italian originally, but now it's an American staple. So basically, same thing.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
ramen being so popular here in the US just got me thinking. I'm like, wow, I mean, I couldn't imagine when I was growing up how Japanese food would be embraced, and loved by the Americans. And now everything and anything Japanese, people go crazy over, right? You got the matcha tea, you got the anime. So I was just thinking, I'm like, why isn't Japanese curry, you know, uh, discovered here? No one actually knew.
Because
And
nobody's come along like you, Thomas, who is ready to just hit the ground running and start promoting it. That's why.
well, actually, there is, uh, probably one of the biggest Japanese curry franchise brand outside of the US. That is, there is a brand called Coco Ichibanya, and they've actually entered the U.S. market many years ago, but I don't think they've done a good job of really promoting it. So I think that gave me the opportunity. I don't have to be the best, the most well-known brand. I just need to know how to bring this delicious food to the American people and be discovered somehow. And going back to your point, bringing a product that is practically unknown was a big risk, and I wanted to make sure that I was bringing a product that was proven and that would be a sure hit. And that's the reason why I decided to bring this particular brand because of the fact that it won an award. There is an annual competition in a town called Kanda, which is part of Tokyo, and it's very popular for Japanese curries. There are tons of curry restaurants that all concentrated in this district. And every year they have a competition where I said about maybe 30 to 40 curry shops. They go head to head to compete for the prize of being the best recognized curry in Japan. And
It's like the Iron
he
Chef of the Japanese curry.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
You love
that's
that show, right? I mean, that show
yeah,
originated from
yeah.
Japan, and that concept is that's exactly it. But basically, Hinoya Curry in Japan, they took the grand prize for being the best curry voted by the Japanese people. So I knew if I were to bring an unknown product, I wanted to make sure that it was a winning product. And sure enough, it was the best, voted the best Japanese curry in Japan. I can't go wrong with that product, right?
Now,
So
are you the one that was the cook preparing it in the competition?
no, I'm actually not. I wasn't part of that. I'm actually not a restaurateur by trade. I've come from a corporate background. I used to wear a suit and worked in an office, and I have a consulting firm in Japan, and that's how I got connected to Hinoya Curry. Hinoya Curry was interested in expanding globally, but didn't have the know-how or the connections to the U.S. market, and me being an American, Japanese American, actually, I basically I thought I was the perfect person, to bring the brand over because spending 30 years in Japan, I've become more or less an expert in Japan, the culture, the lifestyle. And I'll pass as a Japanese native if I didn't tell him that my name was Thomas, right? the, Otherwise, I could fool anyone who come across talking to me, they'll think I'm Japanese.
Yeah, so
But
real quick, fun story here. So when I first talked to Thomas on the phone, I said, well, come give me your website, Windows website. I'm scrolling down through and I see these pictures, and I said, now which one of them is you? And he says, well, I said, is that your brother? He said, no, it's my business partner. I said, he's already gone back to Japan. He said, I'm the better looking one. I just cracked up.
yeah, well,
That's
you know,
awesome. So now,
so
quickly, you have one or two locations in San Francisco now.
in San Francisco, I have one, but I do have three total here in the US, in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have the second shop that I opened in Berkeley. I went to UC Berkeley, by the way, so I actually, you know, I went back to my roots, right? I decided to open my first shop in San Francisco because that's my home turf, right? And I opened my second shop in Berkeley because that's where I went. And I opened a third one just this year in January in San Jose. That's the heart of the Silicon Valley, right? That's where everything is happening right now. So yeah, so I have now three locations here in the Bay Area serving the community here, and I'm now ready to franchise nationwide. So that's why I'm here right now to talk to you, Todd.
So the three locations that you have, are they pretty much the same size? They all have like a good spacious dining area.
Now that's actually I've experimented with three different business models. I wanted to see, how this Japanese food, Japanese curry concept would work under different models. So San Francisco, being the flagship and being the first one, is actually a proper dine-in, restaurant with 45 seats, and I have a bar counter, and it's very actually very nicely decorated. Uh, so I have that model, which is a traditional restaurant model. And in Berkeley, I've gotten a very small space, actually. It's only 1,000 square foot space, but most of it is back of the house, which is kitchen. So the front of the house where I'm serving customers, it's only a counter seating space. I've only got 10 seats. And this is emulating the Japanese restaurant style. Most of our locations, the 90 locations in Japan, they're all nearby a train station because people commute by train.
Sure.
And basically, it's a very small footprint. You only have a counter with few seats, and people just come in and out during lunch and dinner. So we wanted to see if that model would actually work here in the U.S. So I've created a very small restaurant serving the customers, which are mainly UC Berkeley students, because it's right in front of the campus. So,
So
and then
how has that location been doing? Has it been pretty successful?
it's been fantastic when the school's in session.
Right, right.
And it
Which
took
is most
me,
of the year. I mean, that's pretty much
oh,
9 months out of the year, right?
well, as a business person, you want to be working 12 months out of the year, right?
Right, right.
24/7. So yeah, it was a big surprise because when we actually finally opened our Berkeley store, it took me 2.5 years, almost 3 years to open due to delays related to COVID and lack of contractors doing the work and so forth. But when I was able to finally open, I opened in June of 2024, and that was like in middle of the summer break. I had practically no customers, when I first opened.
Now
Um,
your
but
third location though, what's different about that one?
um, So we opened this third location in San Jose, and it's actually a ghost kitchen. So I don't have a proper dining area. It's not a brick and mortar restaurant model, but it's kind of hybrid in that where I'm situated, there is a food hall where there is a dining area for customers to use if they wanted to. But all of the vendors that are in that building, they're all working out of ghost kitchen. So I wanted to see if that model worked. So obviously, I have three completely different business models with different, cost structure, and I'm glad to say that all three of them are doing very well in terms of the operation and profitability. Um,
By ghost kitchen, you mean that the cooking is done at another location and then the food is brought in?
no, it means basically I only have a kitchen, like maybe a 200 square foot space, and I have my full kitchen equipment in there. It's my dedicated kitchen, but there is no customer interaction. Basically, it's 99% servicing through delivery platforms, right? And that other 1%, we have customers coming to the building, and there's a kiosk where they can order directly from any of the other vendors that work out of their own individual ghost kitchens. So they're all physically there, but it's not where, a customer can come up to, Nippon Curry and order food and sit down, within the building. It's a little bit different. So, I wanted to see.
How sorry, but how do they get the food then when they ordered from that kitchen? Is it done by
Yeah.
like Grubhub and DoorDash or
Yeah. So if the 99% of the customers, they come through the delivery platforms, Grubhub, Uber, DoorDash, right? And basically you have the drivers come and pick up the food, and they'll go deliver. And then that other 1%, the customer actually will come physically to that building, and there is a kiosk where, you have a selection of all the vendors within that building, and Nippon Curry is one of the vendors that's servicing the customers. And if they order from there, then the building facility has workers that basically they're called runners. They'll go ahead and deliver the food out of our kitchen to the customers waiting in the food hall, in the dining hall.
and
So
that location does well?
yes, we just opened in January. It took me about maybe 3 months to break even, and then now we're making profit. So
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I could see that's awesome in the sense that from the overhead standpoint, that's phenomenal because you don't have all that extra real estate to pay the lease on. And even though you obviously have a clean kitchen, but it's not like it's a kitchen that has to be open to the public. So, when that happens, as you know, there's just a higher standard you have to kind of hold everything to because people are watching what you're doing a lot of times. But that's a really cool concept. I've never heard anything like that. So,
well, I'll share with you another secret. So this kitchen is operated uh, by only two staff members, two cooks, right? We're open from 11 a.m. And we close between 2 and 5 for the lunch break. And then we open for the dinner service from 5 p.m. until 9. And we run the show with only two people, 7 days a week.
that's awesome.
Meaning, on some days, I only have one person operating, right? I don't pay overtime. I get two people, hired to run this kitchen 7 days a week. And, that's how you make money, right? Because you have an operation that's super lean, and
Yeah,
it's actually, possible to run with only one person. I've never seen in Japan, I've seen operations where you have one, owner doing everything, right? But here in the US, I've never seen an operation where I see less than four people. Anywhere
right,
I go, I see a dedicated dishwasher. I see a dedicated, wait person,
yeah,
a cook, right, and a person working the register, right.
right.
And I come from a business model where it's possible to run the operation with one person. So here I am. I'm trying to emulate and to take the model from Japan and kind of polish it up to fit to the American standards. So, this is the most leanest, I guess, model that you'll ever find. And again, I'm not overworking anybody. No one's working overtime. Everyone is working, with the work-life balance. and you get to be an owner. If you're the owner running the show, you only need to hire one more person basically to run the operation in this ghost kitchen model.
That's totally awesome. I've heard of just about every other concept, food truck and different things, drive through only. But the ghost kitchen I like, and it makes me think of that movie Cars, the animated movie when what's his name? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. The truck. Anyway, he's
Mater.
talking. Yeah, Mater. So with the ghost light. God, that was one of the funniest cartoons I've ever seen. It's the ghost light. That's great.
Yeah,
But anyway, so um, let's talk about cost as far as the franchise model goes. As far as I've heard of the other company that you mentioned, and I think I've actually seen one or two of their restaurants. But you're right, I've never seen a lot of marketing from them at all. In fact, I've never seen any, to be honest. I've never seen any advertisement or TV commercials. But so let's talk about like the what's the franchise fee, monthly royalty, the marketing fund, and then the all-in investment is going to range based on which model they choose, right?
sure. So the franchise fee is $30,000. And basically the royalty is 5% of your gross sales, and marketing fund is 1%. So that's basically the standard package. And as far as the total cost to get the business up and running, the range, and I'm talking this is plenty enough to ensure that you're going to be okay. You're not just running by the bare bone operation, but making sure that you have enough supplies and inventory and everything. You need about maybe $200,000 minimum to start. That's
Even
it.
even with the ghost kitchen concept,
Well, I'd say you can go actually lower, but I don't want to do that because again, with
you
Ghost
need a
Kitchen, I
cushion.
have to well, with the Ghost Kitchen, I have to to be very transparent. I I would not recommend someone going into a ghost kitchen model if there is very little presence of Nippon Curry brand in that market. What I mean by that is in the San Francisco Bay Area, I already have three locations. One in San Francisco, it's been open for 5 years. And Berkeley, we opened, it's been open for over a year now. And then San Jose just opened this year. So by the time San Jose's Ghost Kitchen opened, the brand Nippon Curry has been, pretty well known in the community. So that actually helps, with the Ghost Kitchen model. But if you're basically going into a market where there is no other form of marketing or no brick and mortar in place, it's like opening a restaurant in a building with no signage and you have no visibility, right?
Right,
That's a
right.
huge risk. So
But it is good knowing that they can start the brick and mortar and that's an option down the road, a couple of years, Lord willing, that they can venture out in their market and do that type of a setup. That's pretty awesome.
yes, that's right. But so by all means, the combination of doing brick and mortar and this ghost kitchen will actually help to expand your reach in that marketplace at a very minimal upfront cost. So that's a very good way of penetrating the market effectively and efficiently.
And then, all right, so the types of locations, are they able to open one if it has a drive-through? Is that a possibility?
Oh, one of the biggest advantages of this Japanese curry business is that unlike ramen, we do very well with our delivery business. In fact, our San Francisco location, which again is a proper dining restaurant with 45 seats, uh, I say we do about 45% of our total sales coming from delivery. So what that means is we do very well with our delivery model because the food travels well, right? We have the rice and we have the curry, the sauce on the rice, and we have a fried protein which goes with the curry, but we have a separate tray that keeps the fried protein dry and crispy, right? So we have most of our drivers deliver in the vicinity of San Francisco location up to maybe 20, 30 minutes, and we have a fantastic review because customers get their food still piping hot. It's not soggy. So I believe, the food that we're serving is well suited for, delivery business.
Well, but what I was talking about is if the location that they picked had a dining area and a drive-through where people could pick it up at the window in their cars. I mean, is that a possibility if they found a
Oh,
location?
sure.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
perfect,
of course. And,
perfect.
I mean, obviously they can eat it right there or they can drive it home. But what I was trying to say is the food,
Yeah,
stays, still fresh even after a
that,
20, 30-minute drive.
yeah, that's saying a lot because being single, I'm an empty nester. My son lives in Idaho, and I can cook, but because I run several different businesses, a lot of times I just don't have the time or the energy. Right now I'm doing the DoorDash monthly pass, the dash pass, what they call it.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean that's big business these days. So it's good that you've already got that experience incorporated in there. Um, when they sign to become a franchisee, let's talk about the training that you provide both at your location and then at their location.
sure. So we invite all the franchisees to our San Francisco and also our Berkeley location for training. We do on-the-job training, hands-on. Basically, in Japan, our training is 30 days, altogether, right? So I've kind of basically picked up the similar type of training model where we do hands-on training for the back of the house where you learn how to make the curry from scratch and prepare all the food. And also we spend a lot of time on the front of the house to handle the POS system, how to take care of the scheduling, and we do a little bit of classroom training where I teach management. And actually, that's my forte, right? I mean, I come from a corporate background in management, so it's I do better in that section than teach them how to make curry. But thank God, our system is so simple. Someone like me with zero experience in cooking, I was able to bring this brand over to the US and be successful. So that says a lot, right? I mean, we're
Yeah.
not talking about somebody with the background in cooking experience, to be successful. So, I'm a
I think
walking proof.
I think since you have such a great sense of humor, I think you could have a lot of fun if, like on day one, when they show up, you come out with a very straight face, and you say, on day one of your training, you either have to wear a samurai outfit or a ninja outfit. You decide. It'll be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they'll have fun anyway because they'll be amazed how simple we've actually created the training to be. Um, we have very little moving parts, right? So even the food preparation, if you think about the components, we have the Japanese white rice, and we have the curry sauce, and then we have the proteins. So these are the only three ingredients that comprises the entree. And obviously you have different combinations that you can create for side dishes and so forth. But the core product is basically those three ingredients. And basically, if you have a week, you'll learn all of the back of the house cooking part. That would be done in about a week. So you spend total of about 4 weeks. But after you're done training here in HQ, then my team or myself included will go out to the location where the franchisee is going to open, and then we'll go ahead and work with them for about a week or so, leading up to the opening, and to make sure that they're able to comfortably navigate within their environment,
Yeah.
because every location is going to be a little bit different. So
And Thomas promises to show up in his ninja curry outfit on the day one of your grand opening, just for that added visual effect.
yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, I might actually
Absolutely.
do that.
Absolutely. Um, So you're tuning in. We're talking to Thomas Uehara. He is the founder of Nippon Curry. It's a brand new, not a brand new model, but new to the U.S. as far as a franchise opportunity goes. The website is nipponcurry.com, Nippon, which I learned from Thomas that Nippon is translated means Japan. And there's just not much out there like it. And it's competitively priced. The franchise fee is $30,000. The monthly royalty is 5%. And just so you know, if you're new to the franchise world and you've done some investigation, the average franchise fee is 35,000 and the average franchise royalty is 6%. So you're already coming in a little bit under on the price point on your initial investment, and the all-in investment is going to run on the low end around 200,000. But it's a unique business model. It's very proven. Like Thomas was saying, there's 90 locations roughly in Japan. And you just got a great CEO of the franchisor, who I feel like is going to be a great weapon in your arsenal. Just because, Thomas, you got a great personality, good sense of humor, and it sounds like you've got a really competitive drive to, like as you said, make this Japanese curry very well known across the U.S. That's exciting, very much.
Yeah, Todd, I'd like to just mention that for those people who are kind of unsure about the product itself, because obviously, if you don't understand the product, it's kind of hard to really buy into it.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know this, but actually, Japanese curry is the most consumed comfort food in Japan over ramen, over sushi, over udon, over anything that you know of Japanese food combined. Curry is the most consumed food. Japanese people grew up eating basically curry, right?
Right.
It gets served in the cafeteria when you're going to school. Every household has its own recipe for home cooking curry. So, you know, to really understand the scope of this, if you see anything Japanese that's popular here, the sushi, the ramen, whatever, if Japanese curry is already a dominant, food in Japan, it's going to be successful here. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
So you're not risking, with a product that hasn't been proven. It's actually, so popular in Japan that people don't even think twice about, curry because it's just all part of their daily, repertoire. When
Yeah,
it
it's
comes
like
to
hamburgers to
cooking.
U.S. people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I could just see
so
you as a little kid that was like, Mom, do I have to eat curry again?
well, the funny thing is, how kids they don't like eating veggies, right?
Right.
So Japanese parents, what they do is they cook curry because curry has all the fruits and vegetables that kids need for nutrition, right? So, but they don't taste it, they don't know it. So Japanese parents love serving curry because it gives all the kids the necessary nutrients, that parents are trying to force them to eat, but they won't. So
Yeah. Well, I know they're not going to take their vitamins, so I'll make them some good curry. Yeah,
that's
that's right.
right.
Well, very good. So again, we're talking to Thomas Uehara here. He is the founder of Nippon Curry, the website, primary website. If you want to get really hungry, looking at the pictures, and they've got a very cool introduction on the franchise information site about the process that goes through to cook and prepare this wonderful food. My only regret, Thomas, is that I live so far away. I can't come in the restaurant and try it because I don't have finicky taste buds, and I like Cajun food because it's spicy but not too hot. And I imagine that the Japanese curry that you serve is also about the same way. It's spicy but not too hot. But
Yeah, it's kind of very complex flavor. Probably a lot of people be surprised when they take their first bite of Japanese curry, especially our curry. You're gonna actually first taste sweetness, right? It's gonna taste sweet because we have a lot of fruits and veggies that's gonna bring out that sweetness, and then the heat is gonna follow after a second and third bite, and it's gonna linger, but you're gonna also have in between the zestiness, the umami, the savoriness, all of this complex flavor is all encompassed into the curry, the sauce. So that's the major difference between Indian curry or Thai curry or any of the other type of spice-based curry. The other type of curry, all you're gonna feel is or taste is the spice and the herbs. But Japanese curry, it's actually not sauce. It's almost like gravy, right? The texture is almost like gravy, and it's very difficult to describe. But you'll be able to experience, sourness, spiciness, saltiness, sweetness. All of that in that same one bite. So
Cool.
you're just gonna have
Cool.
to try it.
I like complex flavors for sure. So, if you're interested in buying a franchise with this awesome company, what is the best way, Thomas? Can they contact you directly? Should they go through
Yes.
the form on the franchise website, or either or?
Yeah, either or. That form will have my email that I have access to, and also my phone number, which is my direct number. So you have direct access to me, even if you inquire through our website. So yeah, everything comes to me, and you'll get all of the rundown regarding how to get started. It's not that difficult. It's about having the right partnership and right vibe. I do. Um, Hold very dearly the concept of authenticity. So I don't want to Americanize the food. I don't want to Americanize the experience. I want to make sure that we retain the authentic experience because I think that's what makes us different. After a while, you try different things. You're gonna get to a situation where eventually you're gonna have other curry places come popping up, but and most of it's going to become a watered down version or Americanized version or localized version, and that's fine. But as the pioneer of spreading this Japanese curry in the U.S. market, I want to make sure that we retain the authentic experience. So as
Yeah.
long as you're willing to learn and to kind of so you're going to be learning a little bit about Japanese omotenashi, which is the Japanese hospitality mindset. So that's going to be part of that experience.
Well, you should go talk to the CEO of Cracker Barrel and the board of directors and let them know about maintaining their culture, because that company has lost their mind. I'll tell you what,
Oh,
it's a sad, sad story. But
yeah,
I've
I've
said
seen
many
that.
times, I said, if they would have just stick with what made them different, and yes, you always modify and improve, but you don't get away from the foundation of what made you such a great company. And I've just been praying for a long time that the Lord will change the leadership and bring back their common sense, because I mean, to lose $100 million in one day is a scary, scary thing for such a well-established company. But anyway, I digress. So Thomas Uehara, he's the founder of Nippon Curry. They've got 3 locations in San Francisco. He's a fun guy. This has been a fun podcast. If you're in San Francisco, you definitely should look him up. The food sounds amazing, especially if you're a person like myself who likes variety you know, in the types of food that we eat, and also appreciates different cultures. I've always appreciated different cultures, but to if you want more information, you want to talk to Thomas directly, just go to their primary website, nipponcurry.com, Nippon curry.com, and there's a link on there for the franchise that will take you to the franchise page. And from there, you can see all of the individual things about what is involved with owning a franchise with them, but also you can fill out the contact form and get his direct contact information there. One more question, Thomas. You're open to your franchisees owning more than one unit?
Definitely. My mission is to put Japanese curry in every table of American household. So yes, more help I can get, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, sounds good. Well, listen, my friend, any closing comments before we wrap this up?
Well, no, thank you very much for the opportunity. I had a blast. And yeah, I am looking for people with the same level of energy to help expand and to have the American people discover what Japanese curry is all about. Uh, One thing, a lot of people right now is the best time to travel to Japan. The yen and the is against the U.S. dollars is very weak, so you have a lot of visitors in Japan right now. So anytime you go, please stop by one of our 90 locations. It's called Hinoya Curry, and if you eat the food there, and if you have a chance to come and try our food here in the U.S., you'll find that we serve exactly the same taste, same way. So there's no deviancy from the original model that we have in Japan. So, and that's something I believe is very important when franchising, because you don't want to dilute, the experience as you expand. So I want to make sure that the 1, 3, or 100 stores we serve exactly the same way, same at all of our locations.
And that's exactly why these big major companies like Chick-fil-A do so well, because they stick to the recipes and they test their locations to make sure that they're sticking to the recipes. So I could just see you, Thomas, as a secret shopper and all these different disguises, buddy, just going and checking the flavors out. That would be a lot of
Yeah.
fun too. To be your own secret shopper, be like that show about the CEO
Oh
that
yeah.
go undercover. Yeah, I would so enjoy doing that. That'd be a lot of fun. But listen, thanks so much, Thomas Uehara, Nippon Curry, nipponcurry.com. You're tuning into the Franchise Flashlight podcast series on franchiseradio.net. My name is Todd Abraham, and if you are interested in buying a franchise with this awesome company, you can also contact me directly, 423-381-0925 Eastern Standard Time, and I will be happy to get you in touch with the very great Thomas Uehara. Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.